Hello, I'm Sam from Jessup Says. The focus of my channel is to share and educate on how to buy less, buy better. It's not necessarily about buying less things, it's about buying something that fits its purpose perfectly and serves you for as long as possible. Spier and Mackay is a brand that I've been curious about and following since I started my interest into menswear. Over those 4 or so years, they've grown from a relatively unknown producer of simple suits to being one of the most recommended menswear and suiting brands in the online world. They compete against heavyweight brands like Brooks Brothers and Suit Supply, and they seem to come out on top in terms of their construction and value. The only downside I see is that they produce in China. But in the world we live in, it's about making each dollar count and buying something that'll last for as long as possible. And Spier and Mackay seem to be doing all the things to ensure that their garments are of top quality in both materials and how they're constructed. Especially when considering their purple label, which much like Ralph Lauren's purple label is their top of the line. So far, I only have one piece of their purple label, which I've owned for a little over 2 years. Today, I wanted to give you my impressions of that garment and whether I think that Spier and Mackay are worthy of the Buy Less, Buy Better badge. The shirt sort of almost classifies as an OCBD, though not really, and it sort of classifies as a denim shirt, but also not really. But I'll talk about that a little bit more at the end. This shirt was my first and remains my only denim shirt. So let's get into it, shall we? As usual, let's start with some information from the website. Spier and Mackay say that the Purple Label collection offers an upgraded, dressier take on their best-selling shirts. The shirt front features a sleek French placket, there's no pocket for a minimalistic appearance, and it has the classic button-down collar. The shirt buttons are made from genuine mother of pearl to provide a touch of luxury, the perfect combination of dressy and casual. You can wear this shirt with everything from a pair of chinos to a sports coat and trousers. Onto the features, this is classified as a sports shirt. It is of course 100% cotton. It features a C3-K button down collar. I have no idea what this means, neither does Google, but we'll talk about the collar in more detail later. If anyone has any idea what C3-K means, let me know, I'm curious. The shirt features 1-button rounded cuffs, a French turn placket, so basically there is no second line here on the placket. All the sewing is between 18 and 21 stitches per inch with a single needle. The back of the shirt is very clean without pleats or darts and features a split yoke. Again, mother of pearl buttons. The fit of this garment is the contemporary fit in a size 15.5. The shirt cost me around 60 USD, which is just under 100 Australian dollars, and it arrived on the 13th of the 6th, 2020. First of all, a quick overview of who Spier and Mackay are, as they're fairly new in a landscape of companies that are all hundreds of years old. Spier and Mackay were established in 2010 in Canada, which is where they have their warehouse and the staff to run their online shop. The brand story reads to me a bit like all direct-to-consumer brands. They had a moment in time where they realized that they could do basically what the traditional brands can do at a fraction of the cost by cutting out the middleman. I don't want to hold that against Spier and Mackay. Not every brand has a super long and detailed history with suffering and loss and hardship, and it doesn't really make brand better or worse, it just makes them more romantic, I suppose. Some people, myself included, love the romance that comes with a very old company who've been making things a certain way for a really long time. And in some instances, this romance can lead to a company offering great products at a great value, like Crockett & Jones, for example. In other instances, this romance leads to a less than ideal quality at, let's say, a crazy price. Brooks Brothers might be a good example there, but there are plenty of others. So moving beyond the who and into the what, Spier and Mackay have built their brand and reputation amongst many menswear enthusiasts out there for offering quality that is better than Suit Supply, the previous benchmark of quality to price ratio, at a similar or better price. The focus really being on high level of detail across their garments and the construction. Before we get into the materials and the construction, let's talk about the most important part of any shirt, any garment in general, the fit. As I mentioned earlier, this shirt is a 15.5, which is the neck circumference, and around my neck, the fit is a bit sort of neat. If I were to wear this shirt with a tie, it would, be a little uncomfortable. Ooh. Luckily, this is a sports shirt, therefore I am more likely to wear a tie less, and that's sort of the story of the garment all around, the neatness of the fit. Across the shoulders, the chest, and the back, the fit is very good. It's a little on the slimmer side. There isn't a lot of extra fabric or space to allow movement. I believe that this is actually by design. Spier and Mackay specifically designed the shirt with a split yoke across the shoulders, which is cut on the bias and allows the fabric to flex across the shoulders, offering greater comfort and movement. A typical shirt or another OCBD, any that we've covered, it's much more traditional to have a single piece yoke in combination with pleats to achieve this effect of, the ability to move. The shirt's back is once again completely seamless without any pleats, as they've done the work there with the split yoke. Overall, it's a very neat fit around my body. Maybe slightly slim, but not skinny. Unlike other OCBDs that we've covered, fittingly, there is no locker loop here. It's, again, a very minimalistic and clean shirt. The body length is slightly short from what I've come to expect from other OCBDs, though again, I realize that this isn't the Spier and Mackay OCBD. This is classified as a sports shirt. Spier and Mackay have recently released OCBDs. I'm keen to check those out too, so hold fire for that one. To complement the shorter length, the bottom of the shirt is more or less completely straight across the front and back, separated in the middle with seams that are reinforced with a triangle shaped gusset, which helps with longevity of the shirt. This does annoy me a little bit, as I usually wear my shirt tucked in. I usually say about 98% of the time. I find that on a long day with lots of activities that this particular shirt is likely to come untucked. It doesn't look bad when it does, but that's just the way it is. The final area of the shirt is the sleeves, which are surprising because they fit incredibly well on the length. Especially as I am a shorter guy, I have to take sleeves up if I want a perfect fit. Unlike other shirts on the Spier and Mackay website, this shirt actually didn't have a sleeve length selector like most shirts do, but to me it looks like a 35-inch sleeve, which clearly fits me perfectly. The sleeves themselves are once again relatively slim, so if you're an absolute Hulk, I don't think that this shirt is going to fit you particularly well. Lucky for me, I'm not, so it does fit quite well. The cuffs are pretty tight. My wrists are about 18 centimeters or 6.75 inches in diameter, and sadly my Omega does not fit under here. There is a chance that a very, very slim watch may fit under the cuff, but like I showed you, there's about a finger's gap, which is, about 2 centimeters right around, so it's gonna be a very thin watch. Overall, the fit is maybe a little slimmer than I'd preferred, but exceptionally good. It's probably how a made-to-measure or bespoke shirt would be made for me. I've just become accustomed to a slightly less fitted fit overall. It's interesting to me as I ordered the contemporary fit, and they actually offer both slim and extra slim options. So if you're tall or particularly slim, then these might just be the perfect shirt and shirt brand for you. I think I'll have to order the Spier and Mackay Ivy OCBD. In doing so, I will get a size 16 in, once again, the contemporary fit to see if there's much difference in the fit and which one I actually prefer more. But again, this fit is pretty much perfect. Spier and Mackay make a big deal on the website and in their marketing about the mills that they use. Mills like Thomas Mason, Albini, Tessitura-Monti, Scotus, to name a few. And that's wonderful, but sadly on this shirt, they neglect to say anything about where the fabric is from. I know that the fabric is a medium wash denim, but don't think of denim like a jeans denim. It's more like a very fine poplin with sort of a smooth finish to it and a very fine weave. The indigo dyes mean that there are some beautiful fades on the vertical plane of the shirt, and they show up as sort of lines throughout the fabric. Around the cuffs and the edges, it is a little bit more faded than it was originally. The more I wash it and the more I wear it, it's becoming more sort of blue, and it is taking a long time to lighten. There's probably another 10 years from being that super light wash color, which is great because I actually really like the color, and it is a proper indigo denim color. and I really like the fabric. The only other material to speak about on these shirts is the white Australian mother pearl buttons, which are used on all their Purple Label shirts. They say, and I quote, "It is a beautiful rainbow effect of the pearl, which truly makes the shirt sparkle with luxury." Lovely. In the construction section, I firstly wanted to remark on how insanely fine the stitches are across the entire shirt. They say 18 to 21 stitches per inch. I tried my best to measure it, but without a macro camera, I actually really struggled to count them. Needless to say, there are tons of stitches and the shirt's gonna hold together and last a long time. Also, I have to comment on the collar, as it's basically the most important part of any shirt, let alone an OCPD. I really like it. It's not overstated, it's not too curvaceous, but it does hold its shape with or without a sports coat. It's also unfused, so it's nice and soft and pliable. The points aren't too pointy, but they're far enough down to give that proper OCPD look. Overall, it's an A-level collar, and I think that their OCPD collar is probably just as fantastic. The only other thing that I had to comment on is the lack of the placket or pocket. It's an intentional design decision to be minimalistic, unlike an OCPD or a denim shirt. And I think that this garment overall sort of misses the mark for my closet because of those choices. So when I ordered this shirt, it was to be my first denim shirt. I wanted something that wasn't too Western. I wanted something to be minimalistic and clean. And this shirt fits that bill perfectly. But little did I know that I sort of removed the soul of what makes a denim shirt or an OCPD what they are. The details, the quirkiness. On a denim shirt, it might be pearl buttons or an oversized pointy pocket, or any sort of Western detail that add character. An OCPD has, pockets and locker loops and places to put your phones and keys, and it's sort of imperfect in its style and fit. But this shirt has none of those things. It's perfectly cut, it's minimalistic, and it's very clean. This shirt by Spier and Mackay, the Purple Label denim sports shirt, is a really beautiful, high quality and amazingly fitted shirt. It perfectly and beautifully executes a minimalistic button down with all the right things and none of the bad. But it isn't a denim shirt or an OCPD, and ultimately that leads me to not really knowing how or where to wear it. Therefore, I kind of just don't. It's quite sad really, because I want to love this shirt, but on reflection, I just had no idea what I wanted before I bought this shirt in the first place. Anyway, it's the things you learn along the way. Thanks very much for watching. Links are in the description as always, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Cheers.